My favorite genre of video games is the beat 'em up. You guys might be familiar with the final fights in the Streets of Rage and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but have you ever played Splatterhouse? It's a side-scrolling left-to-right beat 'em up with a horror aesthetic, and I freaking love it. You basically play this guy named Brick who's trying to save his girlfriend, who somehow got this weird mask attached to his face that empowers him, and he goes around just basically splattering house. Horrific graphics, just put everything together so nicely. If you're a horror fan, a true horror fan that just loves gore, blood, and everything about this, you'll truly love this game. However, horror fanaticism aside, like most games during the 16-bit and 8-bit era, this game will play with your fucking patience more than anything you'll ever know. After the initial first stage, you're gonna be going from stage to stage with varying degree of difficulty up the ass. Game developers used to use this technique in order to pad out their gameplay time so that you wouldn't beat it in one rental weekend. If you get through the padding that's the difficulty, you'll be rewarded with some awesome gameplay. The game truly shines, it's with the enemy and boss design, terrific detail. Some even explode to cover up your entire screen with blood and guts. You got ghouls, ghosts, and goblins, oh my. You can tell Namco really pushed the limits on the graphical prowess that is the Sega Genesis by encapsulating what it is to be a horror, by using layer after layer that the Sega Genesis was capable of to show you gruesome things. Like in one moment you're inside a mansion and outside you can see the thunderstorm and the trees swaying in the wind. As much as they spent detailing the characters and the models of everything else in the environment, I can tell you where Namco really strayed away. It's the sound direction. The sound effects and the music are really bad. They really tried hard to keep it within the Yamaha restrictions of the Sega Genesis, but I can only imagine how beautiful it would sound on the Sony sound processing chip found on the Super Nintendo, but that's another story for another time. Here they try their best within the restraints that they had, and they kind of push it as far as they can, but again, you won't really have any of the memorable music or sound effects you would in something else, but they did the best they could, and I could feel the energy coming from the game when I'm going inside a portal straight to hell to save my girlfriend Jennifer, I'll tell you that much. And the little sound bites sound cute, but it doesn't do well like it would on a Super Nintendo. Though rough around the edges, I feel like they smoothed it out on the next game. Part 3, Splatterhouse 3 for the Sega Genesis. Chef's kiss was just amazing, with better sound, better controls, and better around everything. But that's another video for another time. If you're willing to sacrifice a few hours on a weekend and maybe committing to a cruel and unusual punishment of listening to Michael Jackson be an enemy, even with its crappy sound design, crappy music, and super high difficulty and cheap bosses, I highly recommend Splatterhouse 2, if not only to prepare you for the awesomeness at Splatterhouse 3. So if you come across a loose copy of Splatterhouse 2 on Sega Genesis, pick it up, give it a try. In my opinion, I really think you guys would appreciate what Namco tried to give us back in the early 90s. True horror beat 'em up. Few and far in between. I haven't seen anything of this kind of video game in a long time. Till then, enjoy this ending, and I love you. Fat Game Boy out.